Report. I'm Pugs Moran. We do this every Monday through Friday at noon, high noon. And what do we do here? Well, here's what we do. We like to give you all the news, all the headlines, all the hot topics, all the current events, breaking news, whatever it is that people are talking about today in this world. We bring it to you right here every day at noon. It's called the High Noon Report. We list it, we run it down. Here's the story. Here's the headline. Here's what they're screaming on TV. Here's why. And here's what I think. And then we move on. We move on to the next one. The show is designed to give you nice little cocktail party knowledge. That's what we call it. That's when someone possesses just enough knowledge of any given subject that they could move effortlessly through conversations at a cocktail party. So I'm not giving you the full details, but you'll have enough so that you don't feel like an idiot. Like if somebody goes, hey, did you hear about, you can go, yeah, actually, I'll give you something you can say back. That's what this is. It's a public service, and I enjoy doing it. And thank you so much for allowing me to do it now, going on almost into our third year. Third year of doing the High Noon Report. This is the first of two streams that we do each and every day. We do another one called the Radio Misfits Show that comes on at 9 p.m. Monday through Thursdays. That's myself and James Parker and sometimes E. Oh, hold on. Got to do something here. Hold on. Jeez Louise. Oh, jeez. Good lordy. Hold on. We're not fully plugged in. I'm going to pull a muscle reaching across this desk to plug something in. All right, let's see what we got here. By the way, that little noise, somebody just tipped the show. Oh, Jeff. Thank you, man. I so appreciate that. Jeff tipped the show. Yeah, we are in desperate tipping straits the next couple of days. We're down to like, we got $100 will get us there. That'll get us. I mean, we ain't making no profit around here. I think you guys know that. But what we need to do is we need to raise money for the month going ahead so that I know that, I don't have to not do shows and instead go do other work. So that's what we're doing these next 2 days. We are in a hardcore pledge drive. If you could drop a little something in the tip jar, that would be great, whether it's Venmo or Cash App. PayPal even works to some degree, I suppose. Help us out. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get through the next couple of days. And by the end of the show tomorrow, we're either there or we're not. So we'll have the announcement to make whether or not we're going forward. And then, for a couple of weeks, I'll lay off the tips. We don't ask for them. We push at the end and we drive hard. And this is that time of the week. So if you in any way, shape, or form would like to try and see this kind of talk radio, brand of talk radio that I don't think exists anymore in America, certainly not on the AM dial. And what do I mean by that? Well, we don't do politics. We don't care about politics. By the way, last night on the Radio Misfits Show, James and I were talking about a story that is trending today. So we'll get to it in the trends as well. It concerned Taco Bell and a lawsuit against Taco Bell. And it was a clip that we played off of News Nation, which I don't know what the hell News Nation is. News Nation is one of these newfangled, like, you know what I mean? There's Newsmax, there's News Nation. There's all kinds of things, and I don't know what any of them are. Some of them I know, like one of them I know is Crazy People. I know that because they have this White House correspondent who had crazy bedhead all the time, and she would like say crazy stuff. So I know that, but I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, News Nation seems to be one that we were talking about last night. And we'll talk about again today. And why are we talking about them? Because their story selection. I was talking about this with James. I'm like, I like this. This is good story selection. Instead of leading every single newscast off with, something about politics. Politics isn't news. Politics is politics. Politics is partisan. Politics is omnipresent and it's everywhere all the time. Partisanship is what they're going for. So, that's what the show tries to do. It tries to give you the other stories, the other things that are happening. And News Nation, I was just commenting last night that this new news delivery service, I have no opinion on them yet because I've only seen a couple of clips. But this new news delivery system seems to be doing a more interesting choice of story selection. And that's what I try to do for you every single day here. Wake up a couple of hours before the show gets started, start going through all the trend sites, all the websites, all the aggregator sites. I look for stories that we can have fun talking about, not stories that are unnecessarily going to gin us up to hate one another. So if you're down with that, That's what we try to support here. So drop a little something in the Venmo or the Cash App or whatever and help keeping this business model afloat. Because let me tell you, it ain't a great one. It's look, it's full of good intentions. It's full of potential success for yours truly, but it hasn't necessarily been that. And like I said, we've been doing this for 2 years, and you people have been here every day. And I can't tell you how good you people have been for my mental state, because getting up to do this every day for you people and then seeing the same people, in the chat room. And by the way, I want to say this too, because this is something that is very much noticed. This is not a show just for people in the chat room. I, from time to time, like weekly, I'll go through like the tips and try and figure out where we're at for the week and all that kind of stuff. I will see names of people who are not in the chat room, people who listen in other ways. So thank you to you guys, man. It ain't just the people in the chat room, although you people in the chat room are freaking awesome. Thank you so much for that. You people in the chat room are great, but I love it when I see like other people, like names I don't know. Like, I don't know that guy. That guy's not somebody who's done it before. So thank you. And I don't know what that's due to, but I do appreciate seeing that. All right, so let's get on with our mission here, which is to do non-divisive, middle of the road. There's other stuff to talk about, talk radio. We do this in a couple of steps. First, we start out, we give you the history of the day. A little segment I call Erstwhile on This Day. We go back in history and we visit previous editions of August the 3rd. That's what today is. Then we go through the births. We talk about people who were born today. I riff a little fantastic on what my thoughts are about their contributions to this world. Then we move on. The next segment we call These Are the People Who've Died. It is a tribute, nay, or pissing on the grave of some people who were famous and born on this day. We determine whether or not we care that they died, because we know that there's a lot of assholes out there and we know that everybody dies. So vis-a-vis, not everybody who dies is great. Those are the three segments. We do that. The history, Erstwhile on This Day, Happy Birthday to, and These Are the People Who've Died. After those three segments, I feel confident that we can move into ingesting and properly digesting the news of today. So if you're ready, join me. Let's get started. It is the High Noon Report. I am Pugs Moran for the 3rd day of August, year of our Lord, 2023. August 3rd is the 215th day of the year. 150 left of these. 150. On this day, here's what we'll do. We'll do a little erstwhile on this day. This is previously on August the 3rd. Erstwhile on this day in the year 1527, the first known letter from North America is sent by John Ruff while at St. John's, Newfoundland. All right, so the first time a letter was, I'm assuming, where was it sent? England, something like that. John Ruff, he sounds English. Hold on, clearing the throat. That should do it. It was probably a request for money, right? You know that was probably the very first letter sent from North America was, hey, Queen, send more money, or something like that. On this day in 1527. Erstwhile on this day in the year 1852, Harvard University wins the very first boat race between Yale University and Harvard. The race is also known as the first ever American intercollegiate athletic event ever to be held. All right, breaking news. I got to interrupt this non-political show for breaking news. CNN has a helicopter in the air, and they are following former President Trump as his motorcade heads from Bedminster, New Jersey to an airport where unless he's running. You running, OJ? What's going on? He's going to appear in a D.C. court this afternoon. More on that later when we get into the trending topics. But just so you know, Firefox is on the move. I don't know. What was his nickname? Did he have a Secret Service nickname? Eagle. Yeah, probably something like that. Anyway, they're on the move. And I'm watching. If you got any of the news channels on here, wait, maybe do we have a shared picture here that we can show? No. You know what I got here? I got the USA Today feed on the YouTube, and it's just a static picture of the airport. They're just showing Trump's plane. CNN's got the good reporters on the ground with the cameras. And then they rented a helicopter, and they got a dude with a camera in a helicopter that's filming it from, because, this is news. Watching a bunch of rich guys drive down some beautiful, I don't know, I've never been to Bedminster, New Jersey, but it looks beautiful from the air. Rolling, lush green hills. That's what we're doing. That's what we're stopping the show for, to watch a bunch of privileged rich people drive in fancy luxury SUVs through a gorgeous part of the country that we'll never be blessed enough to visit. News. All right. Story selection. See, again, what are we doing here? The story is when he shows up at court, you get a camera outside the court, he walks in. Why do we care about his travel itinerary? I don't get that. Unless he runs, right? Is that what you're trying to suggest? He's going to run. He ain't running. He ain't running. This guy ain't running. On this day in 1852, Harvard defeated Yale in the first boat race, which also, as it turns out, is the first college sports event ever held. On this day in 1921, Major League Baseball Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Piece of Garbage Landis, that's right, I editorialized a little bit in there, he confirmed the ban on 8 Chicago White Sox players. I'm not calling them Black Sox, even though that's what it says here. They were White Sox at the time. The Black Sox is a nickname that was deserved by some, certainly not by all. It was on this day that Mountain Landis, the commissioner of baseball, decided to, despite the acquittal in court of the 8 White Sox players named in the conspiracy to throw the World Series, despite their acquittal in court, which they were acquitted of all charges, Major League Baseball felt so freaked out by the whole gambling thing that they didn't have a commissioner. This was the origin of the commissioner's office. In the aftermath of the Black Sox scandal, I can barely say it. In the aftermath of that scandal, Major League Baseball owners got together and said, we need a commissioner. And so they brought in Kennesaw Mountain Landis, who was a badass, and he was doing anything and everything within his power to sort of fix their reputation. So despite the fact that a court of law acquitted the 8 men out named in the White Sox World Series scandal, he banned them all for life, sweepingly, thoughtlessly, and without any real advisement from people who actually knew what happened. He just decided that they were all out. Now, why does that suck? It sucks because there was one guy who definitely needs to be out. That's Chick Gandel. Chick Gandel put the whole damn thing together. He admitted it. He's talked about it his whole life. He put it together. What was the deal? The deal was White Sox versus Cincinnati in the World Series. The White Sox were heavy favorites. The White Sox were going to conspire to throw the World Series, thus putting gamblers in a good position to, make a lot of money on the underdog Cincinnati Reds. The White Sox did lose the World Series. However, a number of the players who were banned for life, most notably, Shoeless Joe Jackson and Buck Weaver. We always forget about Buck Weaver. Shoeless Joe Jackson did absolutely nothing. Shoeless Joe Jackson was an illiterate, basically inbred baseball machine. Couldn't read, couldn't write. Called shoeless because he played the outfield without shoes. Didn't think he needed them. Thought he ran better in his bearded feet. Shoeless Joe Jackson was put in a grand jury room and was grilled by a whole bunch of people who were trying to make him say something, and he said something. Didn't know what he was saying. Signed something. Signed an X. Shoeless Joe Jackson didn't have a signature. And they railroaded him. Why? Because he was the one that Mountain Landis wanted, because he was the superstar, even though he played his ass off in that World Series. There is absolutely no metric that suggests in any way, shape, or form that Shoeless Joe Jackson attempted to throw that World Series. And yet he was banned for life, depriving baseball and baseball historians of the prime career years of one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game, Shoeless Joe Jackson, banned forever. His story so eloquently told in a number of films, including 8 Men Out, which is the movies that I'm citing here for most of this information. Great John Sayles film. Field of Dreams, bullshit. It was on this day. Major League Baseball Commissioner Mountain Landis overreached. And you know what? You can say that it wasn't the last time, because I feel Major League Baseball severely overreached on Pete Rose as well. There you go. See, I can do sports. I like sports. I just don't want to only do sports. On this day, speaking of more sports, on this day in 1936, Jesse Owens wins the 100-meter dash, defeating Ralph Metcalfe at the Berlin Olympics. Why was this a big deal? Well, it was a big deal because it was Hitler's Olympics. Remember what we talked about? Everybody liked Hitler. Everybody, the superior, no, we're Berlin. Yeah, the Aryans are hosting the Olympics. You're going to see superior Aryan, whatever, athleticism. And it didn't happen at all. Jesse Owens came in there and just crushed everybody. and here's a black guy. Here's Hitler having to be like, okay, because the black guy's faster than every white guy on the planet. So that's what happened. On this day in 1936, Jesse Owens wins the 100-meter dash, defeating Ralph Metcalfe at the Berlin Olympics. Wasn't Ralph Metcalfe? What? Who was Ralph? He was an American too, wasn't he? All right, very good. On this day in 1946, Santa Claus Land, the world's first themed amusement park, opens in Santa Claus, Indiana. I've driven through it. Weird town fully dedicated all the time to Santa Claus. Hometown of Jay Cutler. That's right, Jay Cutler, NFL quarterback, not the bodybuilder. There's another Jay Cutler. Happy birthday, by the way. Preemptively, it's Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder's birthday. Santa Claus, Indiana, opened up on this day in 1946. It's a big theme park. Santa Claus people live there. It's weird. Jay Cutler lived there. On this day in 1949, the Basketball Association of America and the National Basketball League finalized the merger that would create the NBA. That's right. I don't have the rights to that NBA Jam song that John Tesh does, but I can scat it. See, we don't need rights. We don't need your tips going to paying rights. We need your tips going to paying internet connections and phone bills and that sort of thing. Yeah, food. That's what we need your tips to go to. Let's see here. On this day in 1977, this is a good one. I love this one because we here in North Texas very proud of these industry cornerstones that we have helped create. Tandy Corporation was founded. Not founded. Tandy Corporation on this day in 1977 announces the TRS-80, one of the world's first mass-produced personal computers. That's right, it came from Tandy, otherwise known as Radio Shack. Otherwise known as the pride of Fort Worth, Texas. That's right. Fun fact about Radio Shack. Do you know how Radio Shack started? Yeah, do you know? Radio Shack started as a leather goods company. Well, not Radio Shack, Tandy, which owns and operates Radio Shack. Tandy began as a Fort Worth, Texas-based leather goods shop. And they made a lot of money in the 1950s making like Indian moccasins. Apparently, every kid in the world had a pair of like Indian moccasins in the 1950s that were made by the Tandy Leather Company. So they got all kinds of money. And then a son came into the company and he was like, hey, let's buy these going out of business electronic stores on the East Coast. And there you have Radio Shack. And it was on this day that 1977, the Tandy Corporation, a former leather goods seller, introduced the first mass-produced personal computer onto the market. On this day in 2019, so, we North Texas this, North Texas that. Here we go. Here's another one. Tandy, very cool for North Texas. This next one, not so much. 23 people are killed and 22 are injured in a mass shooting in El Paso, Texas. Of course, the North Texas connection is that the little son of a bitch came from Allen. Little son of a bitch from Allen, Texas, right here in north suburbs of Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It was on this day 4 years ago. Wow. 4 years ago was the El Paso. I'm trying to think if that seems right. Does that seem right? It was a year ago for Uvalde. Oh, God. Hey, can I just say something? Because this doesn't get said. The opposite gets said. And I know that this isn't much of a brag, but let me take a drink and think this next statement through because it might be problematic. I don't know. It's been months since we've had one of these, Allen Outlet Mall type situations. I mean, don't get there have been over 55 mass shootings since. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the scary ones. I'm talking about the one. I'm not talking about, the backyard barbecue that gets out of hand and somebody rolls up with an Uzi and kills 10 people in a backyard. Those are terrible. Those are tragic, but those are not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the crazy dude who goes into the Target. I'm talking about this kid, 4 years ago on this day, who walked into the Walmart. I'm talking about the dude at the Allen Outlet Mall. I'm talking, and I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be a store, but any place where the general public, where the innocents among us can gather freely and on a normal day without care to do whatever rudimentary things they do in their daily life. We haven't had one. We haven't had active shooter at high school. I guess that's because summer. That makes sense. We haven't had movie theater. We haven't had theme park. We haven't had concert. We haven't had that. And I'm just pointing it out. Why am I pointing it out? Because the next one that does happen, like everybody's going to be like, oh, just another day in America. Well, no, let's take note that there have been a number of days in America here over the past couple of months where we haven't had our normal tuned out life interrupted by, something at a shopping mall. Hey, little things you got to look forward to, right? We're on a hot streak. Knock wood. Now watch. See, the reason that now watch, I say this, and now watch something terrible tonight. All right, let's talk about some birthdays. Wanna. These people got birthdays. Wanna. Gonna give a shout out. Shout out to John T. Scopes Monkey Trial. He was the dude. He was the dude that taught from a science book in Tennessee, and they went nope. And so the Scopes Monkey Trial became a big thing. The film Inherit the Wind. It's great. The film Inherit the Wind documents the trial down there in, I don't know, Tennessee, I think it's down in Tennessee. Born on this date in 1900, John T. Scopes, played by Darren from Bewitched. Yeah, in the movie Inherit the Wind, John T. Scopes is played by Darren. Born on this day in 1900. Born on this day in 1913. Here's another shout out to a dude who deserves a shout out. If you're a fan of comedy writers like I am, love the old stories of the old time comedy writer rooms, whether it's, MASH or Mary Tyler Moore, All in the Family, all this stuff. This guy, born on this day in 1913, is the king of them all. Put them all together. He was, there had to be a top guy. And it was Mel Tolkien. Mel Tolkien. Maybe seen his name on any number of ending credits from TV shows throughout the years. Mel Tolkien was a comedy writer. He was a head comedy writer. He was his breakthrough came with Sid Caesar's Your Show of Shows, and he had a writer's room. He had he was mentoring young writers in that writer. So some of the writers that he has basically created over the years, Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks, to name a couple. Rob Reiner, who learned at his Neil Simon, the playwright Neil Simon, Norman Lear, yeah, we're still going. Woody Allen, and who's the other big one? I can't think of him right now. Anyway, Mel Tolkien, born on this day in 1913, one of the great comedy writers in the golden age of television, one of the guys most responsible for being able to recognize talent and some of the people that we have come to really appreciate over the years. Mel Tolkien, born on this day in 1913, born on this day in 1925, and still alive. And holy crap, what did this man do to still be alive? Happy birthday, Marv Levy, ladies and gentlemen. Marv Levy, without doubt, one of the finest football coaches of the 1990s and 1980s. This guy was great. This guy led the Buffalo Bills to 4 consecutive Super Bowl defeats, which is hard. And now Marv Levy's like 100 years old. And he's still alive, and they trot him out for Buffalo Bill games, and he looks great. Marv Levy looks great. He and Carl Simon, what are they? Or he and Carl Norman Lear, what are they doing? What are they eating? These guys are both 100 years old, and they look great. But now he's being forced to sit through, more great expectations for his beloved Buffalo Bills, and they have fallen short. So let's win one for Marv, huh? Can Josh Allen? Can you guys maybe McDonough? Can you guys just win it for Marv, man? The guy's not going to be. This might be his last Super Bowl. The Buffalo Bills have to win it for Marv. I don't know why that's not a hashtag. Happy birthday, Marv Levy, born on this day in 1925. Born on this day in 1926, Tony Bennett. We just lost him a week ago. Tony Bennett, born on this day in 1940. How about Lance Allworth? Any of you old football heads want to think about Lance Allworth? Lance Allworth was the first truly great wide receiver. There had been other guys who were, pass catchers, but Lance Allworth, Bambi, as he was known in his AFC days with Chargers. Who else did Bambi play with? It was primarily the Chargers. Lance Allworth, born on this day in 1940, one of the greats of the old head football era. Born on this day in 1940, one of the greats of the all-time actors era, especially if you're someone of my generation who's come to see and know this guy and just about everything constantly over the past 40 years. Happy birthday, Martin Sheen. Oh, man. He was such a great president. My favorite president is President Jebediah Bartlett from the fictional television show The West Wing. He was such a decent man. And he just, it's great how things worked out for him. Unlike the real world, when a decent man gets chewed up by the meat grinder that is the Oval Office in Washington politics. No, in the TV show, he was able to circumvent all of that stuff. But he was a good president. He was an idealized president, that's for sure. Martin Sheen, happy birthday to you, born on this day in 1940. On this day in 1941, born on this day, Martha Stewart, American businesswoman, publisher, author, former model. Martha Stewart, look at some pictures of Martha Stewart. Just go to like Google or Bing or whatever your image search site of preference is. Just put Martha Stewart 60s or Martha Stewart model. Martha Stewart 1975. I mean, she still looks good now. It's not surprising. It's like, yeah, she's a pretty older woman, but man, she was gorgeous. It's like, and then I look at that and I'm like, oh, so that's probably how she got the investment to start her company, which she then turned into an incredibly profitable company. So it was a good investment. But she was also a pretty model girl who probably had a lot of older moneyed male friends, who she could, get a check to start her Martha Stewart company, which would become, and again, she used what she had and she followed through. She paid, I'm sure whoever these guys were, they made a lot of money off of her because she was successful. She was also really hot. And old, married, wealthy dudes are more likely to write checks to a girl asking for money if she's hot. I'm just telling you. On this day in 1950, born into this world, here's a guy we're going to celebrate. We're going to take a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday to the great John Landis. John Landis. Who is John Landis? Who's John Landis? When were you born? If you were born in the era that I was born in, John Landis is probably as responsible for your sense of humor as anybody could be. There were two comedy directors in the 1980s. Everybody else can be easily forgotten. Those were Ivan Reitman and John Landis. So, of course, we're doing a John Landis draft. On this is 50, 60, 70, 73rd birthday. Number one. We do this in the style of an NFL draft. We pick the absolute favorite first, and then we go in descending order. It is a 5-round draft. After which, if you did not hear one of your favorite John Landis films mentioned, stick around because we will be doing not a supplemental draft, but we will be offering some free agent camp invites. So let's do it. Here is the John Landis draft. The first and foremost is a no-brainer for me. Now, I understand that for others looking at this in a different perspective, John Landis might have a movie you'd take first over this one, but not me. I'm from Chicago, and the Blues Brothers is in my blood. Number one off the board in my John Landis draft, the Blues Brothers. Number two off the board in the John Landis draft, still one of the funniest movies ever made, still a movie that holds up because I made my 12-year-old watch it a couple of years ago. Number two off the board, Animal House. Animal House. Number three off the board in the John Landis film draft. These are all films that he either participated in the writing or directed. These are all films he directed, as fate would have it. Number three off the board, another movie that I watched with my 12-year-old son. We went into a whole John Landis appreciation thing a couple of years back. And this one holds up as well. As a matter of fact, my son loves this movie. An American Werewolf in London. That's right. Number three off the board in the John Landis draft, An American Werewolf in London. Number one was The Blues Brothers. Number two was Animal House. Number three was An American Werewolf in London. Number four, he got into the Eddie Murphy business. Trading Places. Trading Places. Number four off the board in the John Landis film draft. Number five. Now, when you hear the free agent camp invites, you're going to be like, what? And you drafted that at number five? Number five, John Landis wasn't just, he was so great with these big, broad ensemble comedies because he was great working with comedy ensembles. He loved the sketch comedy genre, and he made a couple of films in his life that were sketch comedy films. The number 5 pick off the board in the John Landis draft is a film. It's a cult film. Not a lot of people remember. It was called Amazon Women on the Moon. And if you were 15 hanging out in a video store in the late 80s or whatever, you may have picked up Amazon Women on the Moon and seen an incredibly funny sketch comedy compilation film. Okay, that is your draft of John Landis films. 1 is The Blues Brothers. The 2nd pick is Animal House. The 3rd pick is An American Werewolf in London. The 4th pick is Trading Places. 5th pick, Amazon Women on the Moon. But do not excuse me, do not despair, because we do have some free agent camp invites to hand out. These are films that we're going to take a look at. I just mentioned to you Amazon Women on the Moon, which was a late 80s sketch comedy compilation. We're also going to invite one of his first films, an early 70s sketch comedy compilation called Kentucky Fried Movie. Kentucky Fried Movie gets a camp invite. How about Twilight Zone the movie? Yeah, I know. Vic Morrow lost his life filming that, so you might as well take a look. Might as well bring it into camp. How about Spies Like Us? Spies Like Us get a camp invite. Three Amigos. That's right. John Landis did Three Amigos. They're coming to camp. Coming to America. That's right. He's in the Eddie Murphy business already. He's going to do it again, too. Beverly Hills Cop 3 is getting a camp invite. There you have it. I'm telling you, man, don't forget about John Landis. He's alive, he's kicking, and he's a badass. If you're of my generation, those movies shaped what you think is funny. All right, let's move on. Born on this day in 1959, John C. McGinley. John C. McGinley is an actor. He is one of those that guy actors. He was on Scrubs. He played a mean doctor. He played like the lead mean doctor on Scrubs, right? He's like the older guy who was mean. I don't know. He's a mean doctor. I remember him from Platoon. He's a great character actor. He's the guy in Platoon that went, I got a bad feeling about this one, Sarge. It was a very cool line. Memorable, to be sure. John C. McGinley, happy birthday. Born on this day in 1959. Born on this day in 1963, James Hetfield. That's right. The Cowardly Lion of Metal. Born on this day in 1971. This girl's always like, she must be cool. She must be cool, and she must not rock the boat. She must just be happy for where she is. She's probably another one of these people like myself who understand what their bag is. She got her bag. She found a way to get her bag, and she wasn't going to rock the boat because she's a part of a 3-person, very, very successful musical act. And the 3-person musical act is only named after 2 of them. Of course, I'm talking about Salt and Pepper. Happy birthday, DJ Spinderella. All right, you got Salt. I get it. That's you. You're Salt. Yeah, I'm Salt. And you're Pepper? You're Pepper. Yeah, I'm Peppa. I'm Peppa. Okay, Peppa. Hey, who's the 3rd one? Oh, that's just DJ Spinderella. Happy birthday, DJ Spinderella. Born on this day in 1971. Born on this day in 1973. Quick mention because we mentioned him earlier. Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder. Yeah, apparently he's a famous bodybuilder. Never heard of him, except that he ate the other Jay Cutler. Born on this day in 1977. Somebody who also isn't the other Jay Cutler. Happy birthday, Tom Brady. Greatest quarterback of all time? Sure. In my heart, I want to push back on that because I'm not a Tom Brady fan. But in my head, I'm like, well, yeah, those stats don't lie. Extended applause for Tom Brady. Born on this day in 1977. Born on this day in 1992. Carly Kloss. She's a model. She's a model, and she's married to a Kushner, and she doesn't like Trump. Yeah, it's this weird, like, Kushner family split you got here. So Carly Kloss is married to Jared Kushner's brother. Carly Kloss is a model. And I don't know. I don't know if they have Thanksgiving together. I don't know what the deal is there. Anyway, happy birthday to you, Carly Kloss. You're a hot rich girl. The way hot girls should be. Hot girls should be rich. You never see. Actually, I don't know. Have you ever seen? Never mind. That's an ugly conversation. This is what we do for at least 2 hours a day, every Monday through Friday. I stream of consciousness, and it is a gymnast routine inside my head, trying to stop bad thoughts that I shouldn't make public from occurring. And that's the tightrope that I walk. And I almost just went down it. I almost just said something I'd regret. Happy birthday, Carly Kloss. Happy birthday, born on this day in 1994, to Todd Gurley. He had a couple good years in the league. He had a rookie contract. Did he ever get a second contract? I don't know, before the knee went. That sucks. Not a good time to be a running back. Not a good time to be a running back in the NFL. You are the big lighter of NFL positions. Born on this day in 1994. Born on this day in 1997, a shout out to one of the only men on the Chicago White Sox who I have any regard for, and I have high regard. Happy birthday, La Pantera. Born on this day in 1997, Luis Robert Jr., Cuban-American baseball player, undeniable five-tool superstar. Oh, God. Jesus, can we just get... He's finding himself in the position that Mike Trout was in for all those years, where his team is just absolute garbage, and he's a stud. And he's like, I love you, Luis. Keep playing. My son proudly wears your jersey around Plano, Texas. Born on this day in 1997, the great Luis Robert turns 26. The prime years. We didn't trade him. Yeah, everybody wanted him. And at the trade deadline, everybody's like, well, give us Robert. And they're like, we've got him under team control until like 2007. He's in his prime years. Why would no? We're not going to do that unless you want to like give us everything you got. And it wasn't going to happen. So there were a lot of dudes on my White Sox that are still White Sox members that should have been traded but aren't. But you know, baseball's over for me. Other than the Rangers, which I'm really enjoying the Rangers handing my White Sox a big plate of vomit and forcing them to eat it. Okay, let's talk about people who've died. That's enough. I'm so bummed out about baseball this year. Honestly, if it weren't for the Rangers, I would probably no longer be a baseball fan. And I pride myself on being a baseball fan through thick and thin. But the collapse of my 4-year rebuild before my very eyes in a year when my team was supposed to contend is just too much for me to handle. On the bright side, the Texas Rangers. All right, let's move on to deaths. These are the people who've died. These are the people who've died. We talk about them. We mention their contributions. We weigh whether or not we care or not, because we can't care about everybody, and I'm tired of being a phony piece of crap every time everybody dies. Oh, it's so sad. And it's not so sad every time everybody dies. I know bad people who have died all the time. By the way, CNN would like us to know that they are still tracking Trump's motorcade through, not an expressway now, not even at the airport. Don't know how far this dude lives from the airport, but apparently it's a significant distance. Dead on this day in 1966, do we care? Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce. I have complicated feelings towards Lenny Bruce because a lot of people whom I respect will tell me, you know, all these great things about Lenny Bruce and what he did and all that. And I'm like, okay, great. Here's my problem with Lenny Bruce. Here's my problem with Lenny. By the way, that's great. That would be a great animated character. Like if you wanted to do like a barnyard comedy, Lenny Goose. Think about that. The goose would have to be the insult comic or the real offensive comic, because that's what Lenny Bruce's whole thing was. He was much censored. He swore. He talked about stuff that people were uncomfortable with, and therefore he paid the price as an artist. So that's all very important. I just didn't think he was funny. I mean, pound for pound, just listening to his comedy, just listening to what he thought were punchlines. I'm like, I don't like it. Do we care? We have to. It's one of those things we have to care. Lenny Bruce, dead on this day in 1966. Dead on this day in 1983, Carolyn Jones, American actress. Do we care? Who was she? Well, she was Morticia Addams. Do we care? Sure. Sure we care. Dead on this day in 2008, how about Skip Carey, American sportscaster? Skip Carey was the son of Harry and the father of Chip Carey, the Carey family and their legacy in Major League Baseball. Do we care? Sure. Why not? I love baseball. All right, there you have it. We cared about all three people who died today. Now is the time in the show where we like to get into all of the issues that are trending today, the hot topics, the current events, whatever it is that people are talking about. We effortlessly move from the past editions of August the 3rd into what is actually bubbling over right now. And bubbling over right now, trending number one. By the way, also tip the show. Please help out this week if you can. We need to get to a point, and we're not there. Heard a couple of tips. Thank you so much to those of you who have tipped already during the show. But man, come on now. All right, so here's what's up. The big thing that's trending today is the Trump thing. Trump, January 6th, been indicted, got to go to Washington, D.C. He's in New Jersey. I don't know why. You know, normal people, we'd have flown into Washington last night. We got a good night's sleep. That's not how rich people do. Rich people they sleep in their own bed and then they fly in their own plane and okay, whatever. God bless. So what we're doing is we're watching an aerial helicopter shot of Trump's motorcade moving through the highways and byways of New Jersey, going from Bedminster to the airport where he will then fly. How long of a flight is this going to be? New Jersey to Washington, D.C.? An hour? So I'm just trying to figure out if we're going to like cover this live as indicted. This isn't going to happen until late afternoon. If it's already, it's 1:46. It is 1:46 in New Jersey. All right, so he's going to get to the airport. I don't know how far he is from the airport. Let's say the plane's going to take off, 2:15, a half hour. He's not even at the airport yet, So 2:15, 3:15 he lands. Was he going to be arraigned at the end of the day, like 4:30? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, God bless. They're covering it. They're falling all over themselves to cover it. Not going to happen. Probably not going to go down. Well, you know what we're going to see? We're going to see him walk to his plane, maybe wave. Does that matter? I don't know. Anyway, that's what's happening now. That's the big story that's trending. All the news is going to tell you, breaking news, Trump's in a car. Ugh. God, stop it. Here's an interesting thing that's also bubbling over apparently last night on Fox News. There was some agreement made. I'm not even sure who. I don't want to click on this story because it's such a stupid story. But apparently there's going to be a Fox News debate between Ron DeSantis, who up until the rubber hit the road was supposed to be the guy that could take the nomination from Trump in the Republican Party. But then, as I say, the rubber hit the road and everybody went, we don't like that guy at all. So DeSantis is kind of flailing. He came out with this whole, he was going to go. He decided that the only way to win the primary over Trump is to go even more to the right of Trump, right? It's a whole war with Disney, whatever. Anyway, he did a lot of things that he's being criticized for, and he's not even all that popular right now in Florida. People in Florida are like, what's he doing? Anyway. So DeSantis is going to now debate on Fox News. Gavin Newsom, a guy who's just the governor of California. So essentially what's going to happen on Fox News is the governor of California is going to debate the governor of Florida. The governor of Florida is running for the Republican nominee for president, and the governor of California is not doing anything. Wink, wink, that we know of. What is Gavin Newsom? Is he because there hasn't been a whole lot of pushback to this idea from the Democratic National Party, which would suggest to me without immediate pushback that the Democratic National Party is totally fine with Gavin Newsom going up there and slinging shit at Ron DeSantis. However, what if people like Gavin Newsom? Because as I said on Twitter, the Republicans will be putting anger on the stage. That's what DeSantis is. He is anger. His whole thing is to make you as angry as he is. And come on, let's do something about it. That's his call to action. And that works. That works. Anger is coming. The Dems are going to put out handsome. That's how the Dems are going to fight anger with Guy Smiley. Look, aren't I handsome? Hey, it might work. It might work. I don't know, because all the angry suburban dudes are going to be like, yeah, I'm with DeSantis. And all their wives are going to be like, I like the handsome guy. At least that's what I'm sure the Dems are hoping for. But then what happens when he starts polling higher than Biden? This is so stupid. I'm going to watch. Don't get me wrong. Oh, am I going to watch a DeSantis versus Newsom? Because interestingly enough, Newsom would have nothing to lose because he's not running. He hasn't declared. DeSantis does. DeSantis could get smoked on Fox TV by a pretty boy from California who doesn't have anything to lose. And that's, I don't know, that's dangerous. It is dangerous. But it's also, let's look at what the advantage might be to the DeSantis campaign. The DeSantis campaign might see this as a way for him to reestablish his conservative creds by basically pummeling some California pretty boy for an hour on Fox TV to the Fox TV audience. That's what he's thinking. I don't think that's going to happen, though, because I think Gavin Newsom is an arch politician. And I think Ron DeSantis is a terrible politician. That's the problem with DeSantis, is that people say that he's not a good, what they call door-to-door politician. He's not good shaking hands. He's not comfortable with people. Gavin Newsom, on the other hand, is that pretty boy bullshit artist with all the charm that makes, that makes the grandma who baked the pie feel like, the queen of the world. that could backfire. You put these people on TV together, and handsome, articulate, and by the way, I don't even know much about Gavin Newsom. I know the fun stuff. Like, I know that he was married to the guy that I know that he was married to the chick that's now engaged to Don Jr., which is so interesting. These things are so incestuous. So I don't know. I know he's an arch politician. I know he's been hanging around forever. And I think DeSantis is desperate. I think, well, I mean, they are desperate. They fired like their whole staff a couple of times now. And they're doing terrible. No, Trump is just dominating, thump, just crushing them. So he's desperate. So I guess he's willing to roll the dice. And he probably believes that he can handle Gavin Newsom's charm offensive, which is what he's going to lay down on Fox News, man. I don't know. Also, credit to Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom has been the Democrat that has been going on Fox News. He's been going on as much as he can. Had a big, long hour-long sit-down with Sean Hannity a couple weeks back. That did great ratings. So I don't know what's going on here, but it sure is interesting. Sure is fun to watch. Like if you don't give a shit, like I don't give a shit about either of these guys. So it's fun to watch. It's like, ooh, who's going to be the bigger dick? Who's going does being a bigger dick in this election cycle the way? Look, the reason that Trump won was because we all enjoyed who's the bigger dick. That contest was last time's debates. We loved it, and we're like, oh yeah, he's fucking pissed. He's the bigger dick. That's what we liked. And he wiped the floor with everybody else because nobody else got the memo that this was going to be a who can be a bigger dick contest. So, you had Jeb Bush going, he's being mean, you had that, and they all look bad. I don't know. Is this time around going to be another who can be a bigger dick contest? Because that seems to be what DeSantis has been going for, right? Trying to really stir up those people that are angry, and rightfully so, because this country's a fucking joke. But he's make no mistake, that's his fuel. He's trying to keep them churned up and keep them angry. And then you got news. Okay, we are apparently Team Trump. Breaking news, folks. Team Trump has arrived at the airport, and he's walking on his plane. He's walking up the. Here, do we have it? Yeah, he's according to CNN. The president just successfully, a former president successfully just climbed steps onto an airplane. We can now go back to our regularly scheduled programming, which is, either about how terrible Biden is or how terrible Trump is, depending on what station you're watching. Speaking of those stations trending today, cable news is trending because there was, whenever something big like that which occurred on Tuesday, the indictment of Trump, breaking news came late in the afternoon on Tuesday. That night is a night when people really drill down on the cable news networks to try and determine who's getting, because people who watch cable news for entertainment are the people who watch it every Monday through Friday. It doesn't matter what's going on. They're just tuning in because who inform me, entertain me, dazzle me, whatever it is. But on big news nights where big events are happening, that's how the industry can gauge who actually has the most people who trust them, who will come to them to get the straight dope. And something interesting happened. Well, it's not as interesting because it's been happening now for the past couple of months. But the big breaking news on Tuesday night in the cable news world was dominated by MSNBC. This is interesting because MSNBC is decidedly an anti-Trump station. So that means that more people chose to tune into a station knowing they were going to get an anti-Trump and by the way, these are not the everyday watchers. These are the so-called fence-sitter independents, people who normally might be watching Dancing with the Stars, right? But they're going to tune in tonight because this just happened and this is where they go. That's why it's interesting. Anyway, here are the numbers. It was dominated by MSNBC. Rachel Maddow did 2,800,000 people tuning in. Next on the list was Fox News The Five. Fox News The Five did 2,600,000. So, okay, well, we got MSNBC. Rachel Maddow did 2.86 million. Fox News The 5 did 2.76 million. Then some Melber, I don't know who that is. Is that somebody with a show on MSNBC? He was next for the night with 2.6 million viewers. Then Maddow again in the 9 o'clock hour with 2.65 million viewers. Jesse Waters represents for Fox here at 2.4. Then it's all MSNBC. It's O'Donnell, Joy Reid. Joy Reid beat Gutfield. Oh my God. Joy Reid. I know Joy Reid. I don't like Joy Reid. Joy Reid, I don't think I'm getting anything truthful from Joy Reid. I feel like Joy Reid is just like the black lady version of Jesse Waters. And I am not, that is not. CNN's Anderson Cooper. Here you go for the old stalwart CNN. When it's important, America tunes into CNN. Nope. 1.1 million people. 1.1 million people were watching Anderson Cooper, while almost 3 million, almost 3 times the audience tuned into MSNBC and Rachel Maddow. That's the cable news breakdown for the big news of Tuesday night's January 6th indictment of former President Trump. Broadcast TV is, we've been talking about this on this show. You got Bob Iger talking about, I'm getting rid of my broadcast wing, and that includes ESPN. Broadcast TV is suffering some of the smallest audiences in its history. What's broadcast TV? It's the networks, ABC, NBC, CBS. You know, if you don't have cable, you just got rabbit ears. You know, the TV in the 1970s. Think of it as TV the way TV was in the 1970s. The number of viewers tuning in to watch broadcast television each week has seen the sharpest fall since records began being kept. This according to an industry report. As competition for the nation's attention intensifies between public service broadcasters and streamers, the proportion of people watching traditional TV each week has declined. So just 3 years ago in 2020, 83% of the American public said that they watched traditional TV during the course of a week. 83%. That's down to 75% in 2023. So 83 to 75, 5, 6, 7, a decline of 8. Similarly, the media watchdog said the average time spent watching broadcast television per person per day fell from 2 hours and 59 minutes. Can't we just call it 3 hours? Okay, so the average person used to watch broadcast television 3 hours a day. That is now down to 2.5 hours. So an entire half hour. So that's 7 minutes of advertising. So an entire 7 minutes of advertising has been eliminated from the coffers of broadcast TV on an hourly basis or on a daily basis. Anyway, that's just how you got to look at it, because follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. I don't understand. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm trying to think, is there a show on a network that I watch? And the answer is no. And this includes the shows that I watch on Hulu. Like I watch, I'm watching the new season of What We Do in the Shadows, and that's on Hulu. But that's an FX series. Like if I had cable and FX was one of the channels, I could watch it on FX. But that's not broadcast. That's not ABC, NBC, or CBS. So even that doesn't count. Like Abbott Elementary is a show that I've been telling myself that I'm going to check out. But I still haven't. I mean, that's it. As far as I can think of broadcast television, is there anything? Everything I watch is on Netflix, Hulu, Max, Prime. Everything I watch is on that. Okay, so TV's going away, man. I don't know. I don't know what TV is going to become. It's going to become something. That technology has to. Is that technology going to revert to like community TV? I don't know. That's a weird thing. Anyway, we change, we move on, whatever. How about this? Trudeau, the guy up there in Canada. That's the handsome guy in Canada. I don't know anything about him either, other than he's handsome. Here's what I know about him. He seems to be what a Hollywood TV movie. He seems to be how a Hollywood TV movie would depict like a modern, progressive Prime Minister of Canada. I don't know. It just seems like he does yoga, and he's seen in line at Starbucks because he's young and relevant. It's he's always just seemed a little bit too too perfectly manicured for me. And also, I hate the fact that he's a legacy. I hate the fact that he's Pierre Trudeau's son. I mean, this is not a guy who came from nowhere, impressed everybody with self-made connections and moxie. No. He's the son of the former prime minister. He's a legacy. He's a silver spoon. He's a rich kid. Anyway, he's trending because he and his hot wife, Sophie, his wife's kind of hot. At least she was. She was I don't know. I can't really think of what she looks like now, but I do remember seeing pictures of her when they were younger, and she was a model, like some Canadian TV model. I don't know, like the Canadian Vanna White. Let's just go with that. Let's say, no, you know what? Let's say she was the Jenny McCarthy on the Canadian Singled Out. Let's go with that. It's not true, but it's fun to think about. They're getting separated. So there you have it. The Prime Minister of Canada is going through a divorce right there before everybody's eyes. Do you care? I don't care. He'll be dating, who's a hot Canadian? Pam Anderson. He'll be dating Pam Anderson. He'll be dating Pam Anderson before Christmas. Prime Minister Trudeau and his fiancée, Pam Anderson, were seen in a Toronto coffee shop this morning. It'll be like that. It'll be like that. It'll be TMZ. They'll be a hot couple. All right. Here's a story that's trending. This is a spook story. I don't like these, but we'll talk about it anyway. Trending. They were talking about it earlier today. I saw CNN did a whole thing on it. They had scary pictures. I don't have scary pictures for you, so you're just going to have to rely on my storytelling ability. Did you hear about this guy? Some dude up in Oregon is like kidnapping. Here, let me see if we can get it here. So a woman, a sex worker, we need full context. She's a sex worker. This guy is easy pickings. It's not like he's getting girls into his car whose job it is to get in a car. So, he's not. So this guy, he went and he would pick up a sex worker, and we'll talk about this one in particular, but the FBI and all that, they think there's more. He grabbed a sex worker off the streets in Seattle and then drove him to some like remote dungeon-like facility that he was operating there somewhere in Oregon. And he kept her in a dungeon like a sex worker. He raped her. Well, of course he did. Excuse me. I don't mean to be so blasé about it. But of course, it's a horrible story. It's one of these serial killer type dudes. So he put her in a dungeon and he went to work. Like he's like, I got a job. He said he went to work. And she took her hand and she was banging on this makeshift dungeon. He made it himself. He made it out of cinder blocks and some steel. And she was able to pry the dungeon door open to a place where she could escape. And she squeezed through and she escaped and she ran to police. And all right, so here's the story. I'm going to decline to join. So give me the story anyway, okay? FBI looks for more possible victims after woman escapes from cinder block cell in Oregon dungeon. Dungeness crab. A man who posed as an undercover police officer kidnapped a woman in Seattle, drove her hundreds of miles to his home in Oregon, and locked her in a cinder block cell until she bloodied her hands, breaking the door to escape. All of this according to the FBI. Dude's name is Nagazi Zuberi. I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Nagazi Zuberi. What are we picturing here? I don't have a picture. What are you picturing? You racist. What are you picturing? The guy's name is Nagazi Zuberi. I know what you're picturing. He faces federal charges that include interstate kidnapping, and authorities said they are looking for additional victims after linking him to violent sexual assaults in at least 4 more states. This woman was kidnapped, chained, sexually assaulted, and locked in a cinder block cell. Stephanie Shark, the assistant special agent in charge of the FBI's Portland field office, said in a news release, police say that she beat the door with her hands until they were bloody in order to break free. Her quick thinking and will to survive may have saved other women from a similar nightmare. After the woman escaped from his home, the dude, Zubari, discovered this, and he fled the southern Oregon city of roughly 2,200 people, but was arrested by state police in Reno, Nevada the next afternoon. So he's in jail. Court records didn't list an attorney. Let's see here. It says here he's still being transferred from Nevada back to Oregon, which can take several weeks because, the slow plodding wheels of bureaucracy. A grand jury in Portland on Wednesday returned an indictment charging Zubari with interstate kidnapping and transporting an individual across state lines with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. He could face life in prison if convicted. According to the FBI, he also went by the names Sakima, Justin Heinz, Justin Kusi, he likes the name Justin Kusi, and he has lived in multiple states since 2016. FBI are currently looking at cases in California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Utah, Florida, New York, New Jersey, Alabama, and Nevada. All right, so this is this woman. Here's what I think, and here's what the FBI isn't saying. This guy might be responsible for a whole bunch of bad stuff and a whole bunch of missing people in a whole bunch of states because he moved around like the wind. This story is absolutely ... developing. Lizzo is responding to all the trashing that she's been taking those last couple of days. Lizzo's being sued by a bunch of her background dancers who, if you remember, right, Lizzo's whole thing is that I'm a big, happy, body positive woman, right? This flies in the face of decades of what societal demands have dictated a beautiful woman is, and she is an icon of the body positive movement. And we say, good for you. I don't have to pretend like I find it attractive, but I do say good for you. Good for you. Whatever makes you feel better. Life is hard. I still prefer Taylor Swift body type. I don't know. Call me crazy. I still prefer Sports Illustrated swimsuit model body type. Call me crazy. That's just me. I'm a man of my era. Don't hate me for it. Don't hate me because I'm not sexually attracted to Lizzo and her background dancers. I applaud them being body positive. Good for them. Enough said. Anyway, apparently Lizzo was mean to her background dancers. These were all heavyset women to begin with. That was her whole thing. Remember, she had that show, Big Girls, Lizzo's Big Girls. I don't know enough about it. She seems. Honestly, I thought she was cool. Like, I thought Lizzo was cool. And now I'm like hearing how she treated her dancers at some Amsterdam sex club / strip club. And I'm like, well, that's kind of not cool. So a bunch of these dancers claim that she was forced to do sodomy and stuff on strippers in a club. And, here's the thing. So I get it. So you go out with Lizzo. Lizzo's a big star and you're a background singer. You're a nothing. Like you have bills to pay. You struggle, right? You got a shitty apartment back home. But on this night, you are a Lizzo background singer and you are in some club in Amsterdam in a VIP section and the booze is pouring and you ain't paying a dime and you are having a good time. And all of a sudden, the crazy, sexy stuff starts with the strippers. And apparently Lizzo is a big, sex forward thinker. And Lizzo, your boss, starts asking you to do stuff with the strippers. Now, I can tell you that I've been in positions similar to that, where I have been low man on the totem pole, just a fly on the wall, hanging out with some pretty big shooters in a place and in a time when I didn't feel like I necessarily belonged, but hell, I'll go with it. And I have been asked or forced by a demanding boss to do something that would otherwise be humiliating, such as what Lizzo is being accused of having forced her dancers to do in this Amsterdam sex club. And when I was asked to do something that I felt crossed the line, I said no. That's it. I didn't lose my job. But you're a white man. You're not. I don't know what that means. But what I'm saying is anything that these dancers did in an Amsterdam strip club because Lizzo was like, girl, you should lick her booty. Unless it was, girl, lick her booty or else you are fired and you will never work in this. Unless it was that. You have every right to go, all right, Lizzo, I appreciate being here, but I don't think that my employment should depend on me licking, right? That's what you do, or you get lost. Here's what you do. You stop hanging around with Lizzo for about 10, 15 minutes. You go to the bathroom. You just get out of her sight. She will turn her attention on someone else. So anyway, that's the issue. The issue is that a number of her background dancers say that she sexually harassed them into participating in acts that they wouldn't have otherwise done, specifically at this club. Secondly, there are charges that she fat shamed them, which is interesting because, I thought her whole thing was body positivity, but okay. And even fired one of her dancers for having gained too much weight. So, which, I'm a heavy set guy. What is too much weight? Like if they're already heavy and the whole thing is you just be you, what is too much? How do you tell, a heavy set woman, how do you tell she gained 5 pounds? You know what I mean? I'm just wondering, that's their whole brand? That's what you're going with? Again, no judgment. Good for you. Body positivity and what that. I'm not attracted to it. But hey, if other people are, you go. How is that a thing? Anyway, so those are the charges against Lizzo. That she fat shamed her dancers, in that she made them participate in sexy time stuff at some club. Lizzo is talking back. Lizzo is finally responding to the charges. This is funny because I couldn't even name one Lizzo song, and yet I seem to know a whole lot about her background now. Lizzo said on Thursday that she's not the villain, that 3 of her former backup dancers are falsely accusing her of being in a sexual harassment lawsuit. The civil lawsuit filed Tuesday in Los Angeles Superior Court claims that Lizzo pressured the dancers to engage with nude performers at a club in Amsterdam and shamed one of them for her weight gain before firing her. I am not, here's what Lizzo says. I am not here to be looked at as a victim. Ain't nobody looking at you like a victim. You're being accused of shit. What is that? First of all, that's some bullshit to start out with. Nobody thinks why are you floating victim? You're not a victim. Nobody thinks you're a victim. Lizzo says, I am not here to be looked at as a victim. But I also know that I am not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. Lizzo said in a statement posted on social media. I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. That is some bullshit, man. That is some, first of all, terrible crisis management. This is an absolute awful, awful way to put it. First of all, you're being accused of forcing women into sexually humiliating or sexually unwanted situations, okay? That has nothing to do with you, and we applaud you for being sexually open. You're so forward-thinking, Lizzo. That has nothing to do with it. Like, okay, so if what you're claiming about this forward sexuality, you're saying that's just me and I'm proud of it. Well, if it also crosses the line of illegality, then you know what? You're just a sex criminal, Lizzo, and you need to stop going around like, I am proud of my sexual openness. And if they can't handle it, that's basically what they're saying, what she's saying. That's not good. You don't say that. You don't put that in print. Here you go. Pugs Moran crisis management. This is how Lizzo, this is what Lizzo should have said. She should have said, all right, Lizzo said Thursday that she's not the villain, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we're going to get rid of the I am not here to be looked at as the victim. We'll start out with the villain. That's fine. She can start out with, hi, I'm Lizzo, and I am not the villain that people and the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I am very open with my sexuality and with expressing myself sexually, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that. Okay, I can't. This needs to go. That needs to go. Here's what she says. Hey, I'm Lizzo. Look, man, we get wild, and I'm not entirely sure. This is what she should have said. Here you go. Here's the crisis management. Hi, y'all. I'm Lizzo. I just wanted to address what's going on here. As you all know, I've been villainized. People are taking their shots at me, and it ain't looking good for me. But look, I just want to take this opportunity to explain. I mean, I think you all know that I'm pretty open sexually, and I'm not a big prude, and that doesn't really bother me. And that is where I am comfortable with myself. And I have to say that it would probably do me well to maybe consider that not everyone is of that same mindset as I am. But as far as this situation goes, I want to wish all 3 of my former dancers the absolute best. And I wish them nothing but well as they move forward. This is a difficult business. And, I'm sorry that they had a not great experience with me. But that's all I'll be saying at the moment. And I look forward to having this all play out publicly in court. Thank you very much. I'm Lizzo. I'm out. Boom. That's how she does it. Not with a snarky, sorry you couldn't handle it. First, you always admit regret to the situation, not for your role in the situation, but you admit that this is a regrettable situation. Then offer compassion for those who feel aggrieved. Yeah, she did that. That's how I'd handle it. That's how Pugs Moran crisis management would handle it. And then when everybody calls for follow-ups, you just don't return their phone calls. So all they have is the statement. That's it. That's all you got is the statement. We put little Lizzo out there. She was cool. She was approachable. All right, what else is happening here? Daryl Hannah's being weird. I tried to talk about this last night because it started popping off last night. But Daryl Hannah's got Mattel all angry at her. Mattel is the maker of Barbie. Here's what Daryl Hannah did. Should we watch this? I don't think I've actually seen the video, but Daryl Hannah made a video in which she broke news that Mattel and Barbie had announced that by 2030 they will be off plastic, that they will not be using plastic in their dolls. And she also announced that they would be using this new mushroom composite. I don't know. Here, let me see if we can watch this video, because this is the video that started this whole thing off. We don't need this. All right, here you go. All right. So this is the video that Daryl Hannah put out there. And this has got Mattel all upset. Now, I haven't seen it. So this is going to be my first look at it. Boop. Let's share that. All right. Hold on. Hold on, guys. See if we can make this a little bit bigger. Yeah. Nope, that's not going to make it bigger. How about this? There you go. I don't need to be there. Okay, I'll be there anyway. This is the video that Daryl Hannah made. I don't know if it's a joke. I don't know if it's an obvious joke. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet. So let's watch it together. But it got Mattel very pissed off. Mattel cease and desist, threatened lawsuits. So here you go. Okay. By the way, Daryl Hannah's not like other girls. Just leave it at that.
Once, when I was snorkeling.
Oh, by the way, you can't see it because of my stupid picture. Hold on. No. All right. You see how my dumbass is at the bottom? See me? My dumbass. Okay, so what you can't see, and it's probably important because my little box is covering it, but she started this video. There is a Mattel corporate logo at the bottom there. I'm covering it, but it makes it appear as if this is a corporate-backed Mattel spot. Plastic Free with Daryl Hannah by Mattel.
Once, when I was snorkeling in one of the most remote, pristine, and protected parts of the Pacific, I found this ancient barnacle and seaweed-crusted Barbie doll. Barbie and I are about the same age, except she will never die. Really, during my lifetime, Barbie and over 1 billion of her friends have been abandoned in our landfills and waterways where they will live on forever. Unfortunately, we've all learned that plastic waste is everywhere. It's in the water we drink, the food we eat, even inside our bodies.
All right, whatever. It's obviously not funny. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's real. Let me fix this now. There we go. So anyway, she put that out there, and she made the announcement that Mattel had made the pledge to go off plastic in 30 years or by the year 2030. And Mattel responded with, that's not real. So I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on there with Daryl Hannah, but that's why she's trending, and that's why she's trending with Mattel. Let's see here. The other weird one is the Taco Bell suit. That's another thing that was trending last night. We mentioned it briefly. It's trending again today. There's a dude in New Jersey, or actually Massachusetts. There's a dude, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Anyway, he's suing Taco Bell for $5 billion. He's found an attorney who's going to take a class action suit. He's turned it into a class action suit, which is so brilliant. Because here's the thing. One of the stipulations for the class action suit, which they are seeking $5 million. So let's just say they win $5 million. Let's just say that the Taco Bell goes, let's not say 5 million. Let's say Taco Bell goes, oh my God, this is such a nuisance. This is such a pain in the ass. All right, we're going to settle this. You're asking for 5 million. We're going to give you $1 million. Just go away. We're Mattel. Do you know how much, or not Mattel? We're Taco Bell. You know how much money we make every day? We'll give you $1 million. Just go away. So that's what the attorney's banking on. And he's got a $5 million class action suit that he's going to shelve for a $1 million payment to that class action. Now, the stipulation on the class action for you to claim, for you to be a part of the class action, which is a collection of people who have been victimized by a certain thing, you have to be able to provide a receipt for one of the items named in the class action suit. By the way, the items they didn't look like what they were presented on the menu. That's the whole suit. Dude ordered a Crunchwrap Supreme, and it didn't look like the picture of the Crunchwrap Supreme, so he's suing Taco Bell for... Anyway, once again, the only way that you can be included, if there is a settlement, let's say there's $1 million settlement, you deserve money. The only way you can be included is if you can produce a receipt from like this period of time 2 years ago from Taco Bell that shows that you did in fact buy one of these sandwiches that didn't look... That is brilliant. Because nobody is going to be able to do that. Nobody saves receipts from Taco Bell. I mean, come on. I couldn't produce a Taco Bell receipt 2 hours after going to the Taco Bell. It'll be gone. You don't keep a Taco Bell receipt. Anyway, so basically it's a class action suit where if they do receive a settlement from Taco Bell, the lawyer's just going to get all the money. It's going to sit in his account. He's going to accrue whatever equity or whatever he's going to be able to use. He's just going to close it. At some point, the class action closes. There's a time limit. And any money that's left over will go to the lawyer. So good for him. Or I suppose be broken up in some way. Anyway, it seems like such a terrific scam. Great scam. I mean, everything we buy at fast food looks different than how it looks in a commercial. Don't we expect this? I mean, this is something that we're going to sue for. Anyway. Somebody's suing for it. Hey, how about this? Here's a news story that was brought to my attention by one of our chat room captains, of course, the lovely Leslie. Leslie sent this to me, and I didn't see it, and I'm glad she did because it's a big story. Leslie, also, thank you for the tip. Leslie tipped yesterday. Very good tip. Certainly do appreciate it. You folks can tip as well. Help keep the show afloat. Come on, it's Tip Drive Thursday of Tip Drive Week. Hail Mary Week. We're not going to make it. I don't think we're going to make it. I'm really scared. Leslie sent me this story about the Dollar Tree. Now, those of you who listen with any regularity understand that I have a problem with the Dollar Tree. Why? Because I love the Dollar Tree. There was a time in this great land of ours where one could walk into a Dollar Tree with $5. And they could walk out with, well, four things because of taxes. But still, everything costed. Everything was $1. You can walk in, you're like, I need this, I need this, I need this. It was great for when you didn't know what you needed. Like, I need stuff. Where you going? I'm going to the Dollar Tree. Why? I need stuff. I'm just tired of like not having stuff. I need stuff. Dollar Tree is great for the stuff that you need, whether it's dish soap, deodorant, I don't know, back pain medication, whatever it is. They got all kinds. Everything is $1. And that's what was great about the Dollar Tree. Now, not to be confused with Family Dollar or Dollar General or Dollar Tree. It's a specific store. Everything was $1. Then, we got into a little bit of a inflation situation. And, my rant was always inflation went up 11%. Dollar Tree raised their prices 25%. That seems like profiteering. That seems like taking advantage of the fact that everybody knows. Seems like they're taking advantage of the fact that everybody knows the prices are expected to go up. So they're going up 14 points more than would actually have them keeping pace. But that's business. Hey, does it irk me? Yeah, it absolutely irks me. But here, thanks to Leslie, here's a story about Dollar Tree that is shocking me. Turning back. Dollar Tree CEO confirms company will make major price change and customers will be delighted. The Dollar Tree has gone back to its roots as the company confirmed its lower price structure. Back in 2019, Dollar Tree raised prices to $1.25 until fully implementing the increase at all stores last year and at 4 distribution centers. So everything used to be $1. And then they went, hey, inflation's up 11 cents, so we're going to raise everything 25 cents. That's what they did. And it was bullshit. And they posted a year to year like never before. We did those stories too. Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, all the dollar stores, they made more money than... Okay, dog. Sorry, the dog is now just walking around willy-nilly, doesn't care about cords or connections. Hold on. I gotta yell at the dog and clear my throat. Dollar Tree will now have about 300 to 400 products that are going to return to its original $1 price structure. It's pretty hard to have a banner like Dollar Tree and you have an item that everybody else has at $1 and you're at $1.25, said Dollar Tree Chief Executive Officer Rick Dreiling. It was also reported that the price decreases will be labeled on shelves or packaging with a potential for more items. Anyway, Dollar Tree's going back down, at least on some things. So hooray! Hooray! By the way, I am a Dollar Tree store aficionado, and I can tell you there are two kinds of Dollar Tree stores. There are the Dollar Tree store that has been crammed into an available space in a pre-existing strip mall, and you know that's a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get. You might not have the square footage of a real Dollar Tree. Then you got the Dollar Tree. Then you got the Dollar Tree that is anchoring the new strip mall. Those are the Dollar Trees you want. The Dollar Tree that was like you don't want a Dollar Tree that moves into a former nail salon or something. Those suck. You want the Dollar Tree that, hey, they're building a new strip mall there, and look, it looks like it's a Dollar Tree you want it originally built for. Those are big. Those are the big Dollar Trees. The big Dollar Trees are awesome. They got everything. They got a cooler. They're selling meat. Some of them sell meat. Yeah, at the Dollar Tree. Some of them. They got coolers. Some of them. Any advice you need about how to shop frugally at a Dollar Tree, your boy's got you covered. Come see me. Leah Remini, King of Queens, hot girl on King of Queens. We were all like, what? She's not going to be with Kevin James. How did that happen? These are two people who never left their 4-block area. She doesn't know that there are a lot better looking guys, that she's hot. She has no idea how hot she is because she's never left her 4-block area and she's always just been kind of the hottest. She has no idea. That's what the King of Queens was. That's how they got married. She never looked around. That's at least what I took away. Anyway, Leah Remini, I like her. She is most famous for her war against Scientology. Here's my confusion with Leah Remini. She seems cool AF, right? Doesn't she seem cool? She seems like a cool chick. A little much, like I could handle that. Like that personality, I could handle. I don't know if I could always handle. I could handle it for a while because I kind of like, ooh, she's bossy. I like it. I need to be told what to do, mommy. That whole thing. I could kind of get into that. But here's where I lose respect for her. She was in Scientology for like 30 years. It's like anything that I think is cool about Leah Remini is like discounted because she got sucked into Scientology, which means she's a whack job. Which means like I don't know, the credibility that she gets in other areas is depleted because she's a whack job. Anyway, she does again receive some credit for then turning on Scientology and being like, those people are whack jobs. And that's basically who she is now. So I don't know. I'm very conflicted about her. The fact that she was a Scientologist for a period of time is a definite point deduction. But anyway, what's going on now is she's suing Scientology yet again. She's saying she's being stalked. She's being stalked. They're trying to ruin her. And I don't know if they're trying to ruin her, but it is interesting that she really had absolutely no career. As soon as she went public against Scientology, she was on a hot TV show. And she was a much liked character on that TV show. You're telling me she doesn't get anything else other than A&E specials about how she's at war with Scientology? That's it for Leah Remini? That's why she's trending. Randy Meisner is trending. Randy Meisner is trending today, and this is 6 days late. Randy Meisner died like 6 days ago, and it's just now people are getting into it. Man, do you know the list of celebrities who have died? I think tonight on the Radio Misfits show, that's the stream that we do at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think tonight we're gonna go through a list of celebrities who have died so far this year. We're at the half point mark, right? We're at halftime. Let's look at all the celebrities who have huge people have died. And recently huge. Randy Meisner, not necessarily a huge one, but certainly a very big name in American music. Randy Meisner, of course, a founding member of the Eagles. So how many Eagles are left now? Anybody know where Timothy B. Schmidt is? What is the health? Is Timothy B. Schmidt alive or dead? He might be dead. I don't know. How many Eagles are alive? How many Eagles are dead? Timothy B. Schmidt. Okay. Timothy B. Schmidt is, or Timothy B. Schmidt was? Timothy B. Schmidt is. Okay, he is alive. All right, so Glenn Fry is dead. What about Bernie Ledden? Bernie Ledden alive or dead? Bernie Ledden. No, not Bernie Lennon. Oh my God. Oh. Bernie Ledden, the Eagles. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is it because I'm a mushmouth with a Chicago accent? Is that why? All right. Bernie Ledden. Bernie Matthew Leadon III is an American singer, musician, songwriter, and founding member of the Eagles. Okay, he is still alive, at least according to Wikipedia. All right, so Bernie Ledden's alive. Don Henley is alive. Timothy B. Schmidt is alive. Joe Walsh is alive. Yeah, that would be a big one. Dead from the Eagles now, we have Glenn Fry and Randy Meisner. Okay, so Randy Meisner is one we're talking about now. Randy Meisner is one of the founding members of the Eagles. He left the Eagles back in 1978, I want to say, and went solo. Randy Meisner was also a member of Poco. I don't know if you remember the band Poco, but that's where he was. He was also a member of Linda Ronstadt's backing band, which also included future members of the Eagles, Don Henley, Glenn Fry, and Bernie Ledden. That's basically the Eagles were Linda Ronstadt's backing band. That's just what they were. Randy Meisner, the Eagles. I love the Eagles. I love the Eagles. I don't walk around in an Eagles t-shirt and I don't like, yeah, man, the Eagles are my favorite band. But the Eagles, if you grew up when I did, the Eagles were everywhere. And so music being what it is, you apply these or you grow these connective tissues, these sort of entanglements with songs that tether themselves to a time or a place from your upbringing. So, that's what the Beatles are like that. The Eagles are like that. They're all over the place. They're just every good memory from the summer of 1978. If I take myself back there's probably an Eagles song playing. So, Randy Meisner was the quiet member of the band. He would come back and rejoin the band. These guys left the band and came back, but he was one of the originals, one of the founders. He wanted a bigger role in the band, but he was quiet. He was a bass player. He didn't say much. He was the quiet Eagle. Most famous for his incredible lead vocal on Take It to the Limit one more time. See, that's the thing with the Eagles. They all sang. Like, you don't know, like, who's the lead singer? Don Henley? Well, he sang Hotel California. Life in the Fast Lane? Well, that's Glenn Fry. Take It to the Limit? No, Take It to the Limit. That's Randy Meisner. I can't tell you why. It's Timothy B. Schmidt. See, they all had hits. They were all very important. So therefore, take a moment, give a good thought. If you have any kind of warmness in your heart for the band, the Eagles, remember and acknowledge that Randy Meisner died a couple of days ago. And it doesn't seem that anybody even paid any attention to it. So there you go. Let's see. What else do we have here? Moving forward with today's top topics. Is this going to be it? Really? This is it? Okay, a new study. This is the last one that I have prepared for you. So I wanted to check this out. Again, a little bit early today. That's okay. I got a lot to do today. And once again, a reminder, folks, we are in the home stretch of tips for this month. If you can get us through, if you can help us guarantee that we're going to be on throughout the month of August, now would be the time to drop a little something either in the Venmo or the Cash App, the PayPal as well. Venmo, Cash App are the easiest and the ones that we use most commonly. So that would be great. Anything you can. Bartender, pizza delivery guy, treat me like all of that good stuff. Help out if you can. We need to raise $100 between today's show and tomorrow's show. And I don't know. We got a couple of tips today. Thank you to Jeff. I saw that Jeff did. So thank you. I don't have the amount though. I just see the name. Okay, so there you go. All right, so here's a new study that was released. These 8 daily habits. Let's go through these. Let's see if these are anything that we can now utilize in our life, or maybe these are ones that we're already doing. But these are 8 daily habits that could add up to 24 years to your life. 24 years. What do you mean? 8 daily habits that can add 24 years to your life? You mean like looking both ways when you step out into traffic? 24 years? That's something. If you're adding 24 years to your life, if you're dying 24 years too soon, something happened. Something bad happened. You got hit by a truck. You flew on a doomed flight. These 8 daily habits and also. So add 24 years. So let's say I'm supposed to be 80. I don't want to be 104. I'm not sure I want to be 104. Dude, I'm not sure I want to be 55. Okay? Don't be adding. All right, let's look at these things. Anyway, these are good habits for us humans to be in. These 8 daily habits could add up to 24 years to your life, this according to a new study. Even adding only one of these new daily habits may lead to 4 extra years. People. It's true because I read it. And I'm believing that it's true because I spent 5 minutes of my life actually reading, and reading is hard. And so now I choose that wasn't in vain, and that what I learned is true. And so, it's written down, so it must be true. All right, let's get into some of this nonsense. Here are 8 habits that could add up to 24 years to your life. Here you go. Here's some bullshit. The 8 habits listed in order, starting with the highest impact on lifespan, include number one, no brainer, right? Exercise. Of course. All right. So I'm 60. I'm not 60, but if I was 60, I'm 60. I'm reading this. Boy, see how quickly I was like, I'm not 60. Because I know that like some people looking at me might go, is that dude 60? That dude could be 60. I'm not 60. So I'm 60. You're telling me I can add 24 years onto the end of my life, I'm guessing, if I start exercising when? When you're 15, if you exercise your entire life, so that's kind of bullshit, exercise. It's good to exercise. Get your steps in. Yeah, do whatever you got to do. You got to get your good. It's your heart, really. That's the thing. Your heart cannot be a stagnant organ. You got to get your heart pumping. Your heart's got to pump with regularity. I don't know why. It just does. It can get lazy. And I guess when it gets lazy and it doesn't pump with regularity, that's when all the cheeseburgers start to back up. And if you're not, I don't know. Look, I'm an idiot. This is just my understanding of it. And this is why I try and do 10,000 steps a day. Notice I said try. That's so hard. 10,000 steps a day is hard. They say, if you just do 10,000 steps a day, I don't have an extra 5 hours to do 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps is a lot. Get yourself a step counter. You'll see. You'll go for a walk. Say like this, say, I'm going to do 10,000 steps today. And then go for a nice long walk. One where you're back in your driveway at the end of it and you're sweating and you're like, I feel like I accomplished something in my goal to get 10,000 steps. And then look at the pedometer and then drop to your knees and cry at the fact that you've only done 800 steps. Yeah, 10,000 steps is ridiculous. 10,000 steps is like, are you kidding me? I'd have to do that 10 times. I think 10,000 steps 5 miles? I think it's 5 miles. I think 10,000 steps comes down to 5 miles. Look, you want to go out and walk a mile 5 times a day? You can get to your 10,000. It's hard. Anyway, I try that by just pacing back and forth and always having my phone. I don't know if that's cheating or not. The steps seem to count. I rarely get there. I get the 10,000 steps 3 or 4 times a week. That's all I'm saying. Here's some of the things that I do for my 10,000 steps. Never park close at a grocery store or a Home Depot or wherever it is that I'm going. Always walk from the farthest point. Then when you get in, unless you're pressed for time, because sometimes you're pressed for time. But if you're not pressed for time, walk from the farthest point. And then once you get into the store, like the Kroger, this is what I do. I walk the perimeter, the inner perimeter. I walk all the way down to the far wall, then all the way to the back, then I do it all 4 corners until I get back to the entrance, and then I go shopping. I'm telling you, man, if you're in the 10,000 step game, you become obsessed with stupid ways. Like I even think I intentionally forget things so that I have to get up and take the steps to go. And anyway, exercising will add 24 years on your life, according to this new study. How about not having an addiction to opioids? There you go. Well, okay. And also looking both ways when crossing a street will add years to your life. Not having an addiction to opioids. They're saying that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. So far, exercise, I do that. Check. I've got one of these new things that'll add 24 years to my life. I exercise. Not, I'm not like fit, but I try. I'm trying. I exercise, and I don't have an addiction to opioids. I have an addiction to chocolate ice cream, though. The last couple of weeks, man, I've just been going through chocolate ice cream, which, probably is going to take some years off my life. Anyway, chocolate nut punch or something. I don't know. It's some like kind of ice cream. It's not called chocolate nut, but it's called like chocolate devastation tidal wave, something like that. Something like crazy because it's like chocolate, but then it's also got fudge swirls, but then it's also got chocolate candies, but then it's also got chocolate syrup. And it's like chocolate on. It's really good. So I don't have an addiction to opioids, but I certainly do have an addiction to chocolate nut punch or chocolate delusion. I don't know, whatever it is. It's this crazy name for a chocolate ice cream that Kroger makes. Number 3, avoid smoking. Okay, I'll smoke. That's good. So far, I am 3 for 3. I don't smoke. I don't have an addiction to opioids, and I exercise a little. Number 4, managing your stress levels. Oh, please. That is my full-time job, managing my stress levels. I'm actually pretty good at it. And I have to say, doing this show every day for 2 hours is an incredible outlet. Look at me. I get to yell, I get to rant, I get to physically and emotionally exhaust my psychic energy to a point where I'm not a bumbling mess the rest of the day. So there you go. There's another one I do. Look at this, 4 of the 8. These are 8 things that we can do in our everyday life that promises to add as much as 24 years to our lifespan. Exercising is number 1. Not having an opioid addiction is number 2. Avoiding smoking is number 3. Managing your stress level is number 4. Number 5, adhering to a healthy diet. Okay, well, as I just discussed with my chocolate nut punch addiction, not so much the healthy diet. I had a 1/4 pounder with cheese yesterday because I was running around and I didn't have time to cook. So I got a 1/4 pounder with cheese and I had a big bowl of chocolate nut punch like at 10 o'clock at night. So there you go. All right. So I'm not going to go 8 for 8 in these things that you can do to, add 24 years to your life. I'm not adhering to a healthy diet, although it sounds good. Sounds good on paper. Sign me up. Sign me up. When do we start? Nah, I can't do tomorrow. No, okay. Like Monday. Can we start? Can I adhere to the healthy diet starting on it's Thursday? Come on, let me have the weekend. That's how it goes. And then Monday comes and I don't adhere to a healthy diet and we're back at the starting blocks. Let's see here. Number 5, adhering to a healthy diet. Number 6 of the 8 things that you can do every day in your everyday life to prolong your life as much as 24 years as promised here. It says, don't binge drink. No binge drinking. What about drinking? Like drinking is okay. I guess drinking is okay. Binge drinking not. Well, that's fine. I don't binge drink. Although anytime I have a drink would be binge drinking because I don't drink. Like I don't drink alcohol. Like I don't drink. How do I say this? Like if somebody says, do you drink? I'd be like, nah, I don't really drink. I don't drink because I'm an alcoholic, or I don't drink because it's not that. I don't drink because I don't like the taste of it. There you go. How's that? Here's the conundrum. I love bars. I love hanging out in bars, and I will have like a drink. I will have a drink in my hand if I'm hanging out in a bar, and I might drink a couple of beers. But I don't like being drunk. Being drunk is not a thing that I enjoy. So there you go. So I'm not going to binge drink. I'm back on the winning track. All right. Not adhering to a healthy diet. So far, that's the only one of these 8 tips that can prolong my life by 24 years. So far, the only one is the healthy diet. That's probably the most important one. How about this one? Prioritizing good sleep. Number 7, it says prioritizing good sleep. Well, I get good sleep. I get such good sleep. This is a dangerous thing because don't worry, I'm not going to talk about depression, but for people who do suffer depression, sleep is like, oh my God. And I just, it's been this past week, as I said yesterday, I am suffering the dreary drip of ennui, battling. We're doing good though. We're doing okay. Sleep is so important, man. I love sleep. I was just talking the other day about, we're in these crazy, crazy heat conditions where it's like, 100 degrees at 2 a.m., which is just absurd. And where we're living here, where we do these shows from the Comfort Nest Studios, and where my bedroom is just right down the hall there, right there and through that door, there is no air conditioning. The central air here has gone out, and we're not really interested in investing the kind of money in a new central air system. So we went and got some window units, and the window units are perfect, man. They're great. They work great. I'm not in any sort of, it's wonderful. It's as good, maybe even better. But man, I told you guys about this the other day. I've got like a window unit in my bedroom now when I go to sleep, and it just the best sleep ever. It's that sound. It's that constant white noise sound of, ooh, because they make noise. They make noise that your central air doesn't. They make a noise, but it's a hum, and it's a soothing hum. And because it happens to be in a window that's like very close to where I sleep in the bed, it's just this blast of cold air with the, ooh. So even though it's 100 degrees outside, I'm underneath a comforter with cold air blowing on me and this white, oh man, it takes me right back to the 1970s. It takes me right back to sleeping in a bedroom at my grandparents' house in the summer after being exhausted. It's awesome. So I do. So look, sleep is very important. Sleep is very important to me. Gotta get at least 6 hours. If I don't get at least 6 hours of sleep, I'm pretty cranky. All right, what else do we have here? Maintaining, number 8, the last one on the 8 tips that we can all utilize in order to, well, it says here, promise as much as 24 more years on the end of our life. Number 8, maintaining positive social relationships. I struggle with this. I struggle with this one because I'm a loner. Because I'm a loner, and I'm a self-loathing loner. We're not going to go into a therapy session here, but I'm not shy. Like there's a lot of people, especially people who do like, this, like, I've been doing radio since 1992, and I'm not shy in the microphone, and I'm not intimidated to talk to, people of certain stature or whatever. But a lot of times with these people, you hear that they're really shy in public. I'm not shy. I'm not shy in public. I think people know me. But I'm shy in my private life. Like in my private life, when you come into my house, don't. That's basically what I would say. I don't want people coming over. In fact, I've been thinking, I'm like, I used to laugh at the people who like the tiny house experience, these tiny house people. And I'm like, I could totally do a tiny house. I would do a tiny house. It would be awesome. And it would be just everything that I need. And nobody would ever come over. Because I just don't want that. Social relationships. There are a number of people in my life who are in my immediate social circle, who I love, who I don't call nearly enough, who I will go months without reaching out to. And that's a me thing. That's a me thing. Cause again, it goes to, well, I don't have anything. It's a self-loathing thing. Breaking news. Trump's plane has just landed in Arlington, Virginia. So that was a quick flight. Bedminster, New Jersey to Arlington, Virginia. It's like less than an hour. I didn't even see him take off, but I'm watching him land right now. As former President Trump arrives, Trump lands ahead of federal arraignment in D.C. Mark it 2:49 p.m. Eastern Time, Arlington, Virginia. So I'm not great at maintaining social relationships. And it has nothing to do with me not liking or caring for the people who I should be better at that with. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with me and how messed up I am and how, that's, we all go through those things. So, all right, so here you have it. So here are the 8 habits. Once again, I'll run them through for you, listed in order, starting with the highest impact on lifespan. These are all habits that we can do on an everyday basis that promise to extend our lifespan at least 24 years. That's total bullshit. Okay, I know I'm saying it's total bullshit. The story is bullshit. 1, exercise. 2, don't be addicted to opioids. 3, don't smoke. 4, manage your stress levels. 5, adhere to a healthy diet. 6, don't binge drink. 7, prioritize good sleep. And 8, maintain positive social relationships. I think I'm 6 for 8. I am. I think I do 6 of those with, some regularity. I don't maintain positive social relationships. So-and-so, you should ask her out. She was asking about you. Ask her out? What? I am not in any position I do not want to ask anybody out. Are you kidding? So I have difficulty maintaining positive social relationships. Maybe that'll change, but right now, this is who I am. Who you are today does not define who you'll be remembered as tomorrow. I just made that up. No idea if that's even a thing. It just came out. Stream of consciousness. That's what we did. All right, folks. Let me check into the things that are trending right now. Let's see if we've missed anything. Anything new? Anything new? Let's see here. Stupid 8 habits. Let's go over to Twitter. That's right. I still call it Twitter. I will call it Twitter. I will be the old man standing on my front lawn going, I'm going to tweet about this. I will never not call it Twitter. It's Twitter. I may never be there again, but I will still, when I remember, I will remember it as Twitter. James Hetfield is trending. We mentioned that. James Hetfield is trending. Metallica, of course. Cowardly Lion of Rock. It's his birthday. Mia Khalifa is trending. She's been trending all morning. And she's a porn star, right? Is she dead? Is she a porn star? She is. She's a porn star. Let's see. Why is Mia Khalifa trending? Is this Mia Khalifa? Mia Khalifa giving marriage advice with 2 failed marriages and a failed engagement, all in a single decade, is LLL, but don't settle though. Okay, so I guess porn star Mia Khalifa, who apparently has been married twice and has a called off engagement. Apparently she made a video where she was giving marriage advice, and now she's being dragged because she has 2 divorces. And let me rise up to the defense of Miss Khalifa, if that is in fact how it's pronounced. I don't know. Who would know better? You guys are idiots. What, you think somebody who's been married once and is in just this one single relation, you think that the expert on marriage is the guy that's been married 5 times? Elizabeth Taylor is the expert on marriage. Simply her decision to get out of a bad situation does not mean that she doesn't know how to do marriage. It just means that she was in a particular position that she could move on because she was Elizabeth Taylor. I'll take somebody's advice on marriage who's been married 5 different times than somebody who's never been married, or somebody who's, only been married once. Well, as someone who's been married for 4 years, I can tell you marriage is a struggle. Okay, whatever. I don't know. I think people who have done it and done it poorly and learned from their mistakes deserve to be heard from. So if that's why Mia Khalifa is trending, because she made a video where she's offering marriage advice and now she's getting dragged for it, what a surprise. I disagree with the Twitter mob. What a surprise. All right, let's see what else. Who else is trending? Is that her? I don't know. There's a video of a girl it looks like she's giving advice, but she doesn't look like a porn star. What does a porn star look like, Pugs? You know what a porn star looks like. You know, close your eyes, imagine a porn star. The person in this thing, it looks like, who is that chick? You ought to know chick. Alanis Morissette. This girl looks like Alanis Morissette to me. You want me to show it to you? I can show it to you. All right, I'll show it to you. Why not? What are we doing here? We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. Yeah, of course. There she is, Mia Khalifa. All right, is this Mia Khalifa? We got any pervos? Hold on. See what the. Oh, okay. So maybe this isn't Mia Khalifa. Maybe this is the girl who's taking shots at her.
Failed marriages and another third failed engagement. Yeah, I'm good not taking marriage advice from a porn star with 2 failed marriages and another third failed engagement, all under the age of 30. But thanks, Mia.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So that's one of the people that is trending for dragging her. I don't know what did she say. Now I want to see what she said. Right now I want to see what kind of advice Mia Khalifa was giving. Boop 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 boop. Let's see here. There she is. All right. Okay, I don't see. Okay, so I guess maybe this is it. All right, here we go. Is that her? Hold on. All right. So now this guy, I guess, I don't know. She doesn't look like a porn star either. Here we go. What does a porn star look like? All right, here you go. This is why I'm saying former porn star. She's a former porn star. All right, former porn star Mia Khalifa.
Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game. Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage. Married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your fucking life. Do you want to be stuck with someone?
No, you only get one.
Period. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Oh, we're comparing.
All right, there you go. That's what she said. I agree with her. I think she's great. Well, I mean, I don't know. She's great. What is she known for? I mean, I don't know. I don't know who she is. But yeah, I agree with that. Well, you only live, man. Maybe you only live once, man. The goal is to be happy. The goal is to have as many smiles as possible as you spin around on this globe. The goal isn't to have the biggest pile of money or to be better than the person who lives next to you. The goal is for you to achieve some form of personal contentment. That's what it is. That's all we get. We get a limited amount. Nobody knows how many spins we get. Smiles. It's about collecting smiles. And if you're in a relationship or if you're in a lifestyle or if you're doing a job or something that you don't like, but you feel pinned into it, you're squandering your life. Look, there's a couple of different ways to look at this. You know, a lot of people can, say, well, no, life is about the security. And then you struggle here. And then, there's heaven and all of that. For a lot of people, we don't believe that. This is the thing. This here, what we're doing on this planet, this is what I believe. Just be happy. There is no reason for you to force yourself into a situation where you're looking at the next 20 years of your life going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to, what, expectations by other people? You want to be an artist? Be an artist. Jesus, man, you could have a brain aneurysm that explodes and changes your life, if not ends it completely, in the next hour. That can happen to you. So, I don't know. As it pertains to relationships and people that you want to spend every breath with for the rest of your life, those people are few and far between. And sometimes we don't meet them when we think we've met them. Oh, I think this is the one I want to be buried next to. And then you get a couple of years in and you're like, nope, she's still out there. There is nothing wrong with making a decision to change whatever is happening in your life that isn't bringing you pleasure. I'm not a hedonist. I'm not saying that everything needs to be, some narcissistic pursuit of personal joy. But if on balance, if you're one of these angry people, because we're seeing a lot of angry people, if you're one of these angry people, then you ain't doing something right. Then something sucks about your life. And God love you. I hope you live a long life. I hope you have a lot of experiences, and I hope they balance out whatever hardships or things that make you angry today, but none of that is guaranteed. So Mia Khalifa is apparently being dragged because she just gave advice to young women who are feeling pressured to get married or in marriages where they feel like maybe they've made a mistake. She's being dragged because she's saying, get out. And look, I've been in 2 of them. I've gotten out. Okay. So there you have it. Look, Mia Khalifa, I don't know her from Adam, but whatever. I would go back to my original assessment, which is somebody who has been married and who has seen many different variants of the relationship wheel and experienced them and lived them. I think that person might have some quality opinions than somebody who has, not, who is just, you're sticking it out. We're sticking it out because we made a commitment in front of God. Okay, but when you remove God and church and all those pressures, it really is just paperwork. It really is just a way for the county to keep track of, the households and, that kind of thing. Hey, here's the other thing that I say about marriage too, because I don't believe that I would ever get married again. I would certainly never say that I'm not interested in having some long-term fantastic relationship with somebody, because you shouldn't say that. People come into your life and change your life all the time. My mother's a great example of that. My mother had someone come into her life late in her life that is probably the most worthy individual that has ever crossed her path. She waited for it and it happened. So you never say that you're not going to be, I'm never going to be in a relationship. I'm never going to get married though, because I've often found that the minute you get married, that's the beginning. The minute you get married, the beginning, there's an end. There is an end to the marriage. There is an option there. The option is divorce. All of a sudden, divorce is the option. Divorce is something that is more common simply because you got married. People who don't actually get married and are in relationships for 20 years, 25 years, and all of those, and they're not actually married, those people, living in sin or whatever, those people break up all the time. And guess what? They come back to each other after a couple of weeks. And that's why they've been in this relationship for 50 years, because once you get married and you file the paperwork with the county and all of that, and then suddenly there is an option to get divorced if shit doesn't work out. Once you do that, once you go through those steps of divorce, it's something that you feel you have to adhere to, as opposed to if you weren't in a marriage, if you were just living in sin for 20 years with this guy and he pisses you off and you go away to live with your sister for a week, you might come back because you know what? You didn't file paperwork. Because it didn't get ugly. It didn't get to this place. You just came back because you like each other and you needed a break. I think that marriage is 100% of divorce is caused by marriage. That's what I'm saying. Good night, everybody. 100% of divorce is caused by marriage. All right. Thank you so much to everybody that donated today. Please don't stop if you like this kind of talk radio, non-political, non-divisive, non-partisan, just, free form. It's what I do here each and every day, Monday through Friday, for at least 2 hours. I freeball it, man. I just start out with a list of topics and I go. Nary take a breath, no bathroom breaks, no nothing. And it is exhausting. I love you guys. Thank you. Tip the show if you can. We'll see you tonight for the Radio Misfits show. And then again, of course, tomorrow, Friday, the final show of the week. We'll see if we made it. Don't know if we will. Hopefully we will. Then we'll know about August moving forward. Thank you all. Why is Vanessa Kirby trending? Paul Horning. Why is Paul Horning trending? Oh, I got the wrong song. I got the wrong theme song playing. There you go. Hey, it appears that CNN has like a car embedded in the Trump motorcade or something. It's like when you watch NASCAR or IndyCar or Formula One when they have like the onboard camera. I just watched like an onboard camera from the Trump motorcade. Very weird. Very weird.
I have got my poetry. I have got my songs.
I've got my songs. All right, folks, thank you so much. I love you. We'll see you tonight at 9 o'clock. Well, I don't know what we're going to do tonight. I don't know what we're going to do tonight at 9 o'clock, but earlier today, I found myself obsessed with the list of celebrities who have already died in this year. I don't know. Look, how many times can I say it? Poetically or just ham-fistedly, the dreaded, dreary drip of ennui has me thinking about mortality. So I want to do that tonight. I want to go there. I got some interesting takes, I think. A lot of people, man. It has been a big year for celebrity deaths. So maybe we'll get into that tonight on the Radio Misfit Show.
Trained to be the best.
Never-ending quest.
I can smile a little now.
Should do, babe.
Things are going.
All right, guys, gotta go. Love you. Bye.
I always had to be on guard. That is understood. It has been a journey, a multi-answer test. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I have got an old guitar, that is all I need. I don't need no 401, I don't have the greed. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day, the best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. I can smile a little now, things are going good. I always had to be on guard, that is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.